Hey there, my name is Pravus. Welcome back to more Timberborn in Woodsyville. Last episode, I think we made a fair bit of an expansion. Certainly got access to some new resources, including gears and some metal, not to mention the metal scrap district that we set up over here, which is honestly a pretty terrible place to live, but we need the resources, and it's only temporary at the end of the day, so that's going to be a thing. I'm also planning on setting up a bunch more water wheels down in this general direction so we can expand this into even more of an industrial area. I do hate to give up fertile land, right, in order to build out industrial stuff that doesn't require water, but that's just kind of how the power situation works. Unless, of course, we wanted to go ahead and start getting some high power shafts and stuff and start transferring power up levels and try to shimmy this stuff using platforms all the way up over here and stuff. I mean, you can do that. Like, don't get me wrong, we could definitely set up some power wheels over here and then basically get the power transmitted all the way up to the top of this area and turn this into an industrial zone, but at the same time, isn't that a lot of work? Isn't that way more work than we should need to go through? At least that's kind of my opinion, I don't know, maybe. So anyway, let's just go ahead and just ignore that for now. Keep the smelters up and running. Something I do want to do today is unlock the paper mill and maybe also the printing press, so we can start producing things like books and paper necessary in order to get the explosives going, which I would like to do, so we can get things like this demolished. You know, that's going to be important for me. Whoa, what hockey did I just hit? But yeah, that's going to be important, but also, yeah, I would like to just go ahead and start getting books so we can meet up some more needs and also just generally make people a heck of a lot happier. So, let's take a look over here. We should at least unlock the explosives factory before I forget. And we can set one up down in this general area. I guess there's really no reason not to just go ahead and place it over here. This does take 150 horsepower again, doesn't it? Yeah. We already are having horsepower issues over here. I'm gonna have to place down this windmill and then we probably can't place this over in this direction, as fun as that might be. Maybe we should go ahead and set up the explosives factory off in this direction, like we already had been talking about doing. And that's going to be the way to go. Maybe. Let's go ahead and start getting rid of a load of these berries. These berries are going to be getting in the way, and I'm not a big fan of them at all. Thank you very much. So we'll go ahead and get rid of that nonsense. And then maybe place down some extra little stairs over in this direction and just go ahead and create some paths off over here and stuff so that we'll be set and ready to go if I want to place some more industry there, blah, blah, blah. I am expanding out the storage even more because, once again, we are full. And we can place a little storage right on top of here if we're willing to use some platforms, which I'm totally willing to do. So, yeah, I mean, we're building up vertically over here. It's actually looking kind of good. I like the organic asymmetry nature of a lot of this stuff, if that makes any sense. It just, I don't know, it feels kind of good to do that. I do need to unlock the paper mill probably right now, because, recall, we can't actually build any explosives until we have a fair bit of paper anyway. I'm a little bit low on gears. I am setting up another gear workshop over here as well, and we'll just keep these things all connected to each other because that way I don't have to worry about expanding the power grid out too much. Technically, all this transmission stuff I placed over here is completely unnecessary as long as everything was connected, but it looks cool, right? I mean, if you're gonna go for something lumberpunk, I want to see all the shafts. You know, I want to see your gears and shafts. That doesn't sound weird or inappropriate in any way at all. Shut up. Everything's completely fine. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and expand that out. I just need to keep getting more gears. I mean, we're obviously doing just fine on planks, no problem whatsoever. We don't necessarily need to build these water wheels out yet. Let us first, well, I mean, we could probably get rid of a lot of these potatoes and nonsense, right? I mean, that's the thing we could do. How big is this paper mill? It's not very big. Oh, screw it. Let's just go ahead and build out one of these things because it looks cool. That's good enough reason, am I right? We'll just go ahead and get some of these logs spent. We got plenty of logs coming in. No problem there at all. So let's just go ahead and start building out the industry with more water wheels. Here we go. One paper mill is built up, producing way more power than we need, hence why we should go ahead and set up a second paper mill as soon as I can get rid of some of these potatoes and stuff, which should not be too hard to do. There we go. Okay. So how much power are we producing over here? 354. Yeah, you can see that at least one of these is nowhere near as effective as the other. It does seem to matter what order you build these things in. You start over here, then the water meets the most resistance and it starts speeding up in its flow over here. And then even once it gets fully cut off, it looks like it just kind of maintains that same approximate speed. Could be wrong on that point, but whatever. I mean, technically, I guess you could argue that there's no point in having this water wheel. If you want to get true value, you'd set up a couple of levees with some power shafts. But whatever. I mean, it's probably fine, right? Anyway, let's go ahead and get that second paper mill set up. Boom. And these guys will share some power, and that'll be more than enough in order to keep these guys both running at all times. I have unlocked the beaver statue. Why? I don't know, because it seems like a fun thing to do. I kind of thought it was going to be like a 2x2, though. It's actually fairly small, so this isn't going to look the absolute best on these roofs over here, but okay. I do think it's worth trying to place it over here regardless, simply because if we are able to give this to everyone while they sleep, that's a pretty nice buff for me. So I guess we'll do that, and then maybe unlock this as well, so we can have like a little tiny corner thing here. I don't know. Very ugly. Not actually thrilled with how that's turned out, but okay. We'll kind of work with it. Apparently, I'm running really low on gears, by the way. I'm sort of surprised that gears are still the big issue. We got plenty of efficiency, way more than enough power, but for some reason, we're just not delivering enough planks and stuff, I guess? I got 700 planks. This shouldn't be an issue. Maybe we're just having some very inefficient storage and stuff. More storage yards would probably solve some of my problems. We should probably place down at least a couple of warehouses. Oh, we did something, though. I got 11 goals. That means the Iron Teeth faction is... Oh, they're back down to 10. Doesn't matter. I already unlocked the faction. I'm not really sure what I managed to pull off, but, yay! Go me! Progress! Or something. I don't know. Another drought is here, which means all the power grinds to a halt. This one's lasting about 7 days or so, which is pushing it just a little bit. I really can't go on like this too much longer. If I don't start thinking about how we're going to get more consistent dams, we really are going to have a pretty serious problem here. Well, let me think. If we got a district over here, and if I were to set up, let's say, some pathing that goes all the way out like this way, can we reach that far? Easily. So, if I wanted to, theoretically speaking, set up a quick little levee over in that direction, we would be able to, right? Should be able to, I imagine. Let's just double check that. Yeah, we could. Yeah, I don't know how tall the levee will need to be. I think it depends on how high we make a dam over in this direction. But, yeah, we could do that. And then once I get explosives, we can actually start, like, digging out trenches the water can flow through and actually irrigate this entire area and have a huge amount of building space. Yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea. I don't think it's a bad idea at all. Let's plan on setting up some stairs over there so we'll be able to access a couple of other building areas, though it shouldn't matter all that much. And then, yeah, I think we need to go ahead and just start planning on doing some levees out kind of like this, at least a little bit. And if I can eventually get it out to like this, ooh, there we go. That'd be a whole extra level with which we would be able to get some water to build up. Yeah. Let's just double check that there's nowhere else the water would back up. No, just kind of fill in this huge area right here. Okay. And then we would plan on this being the maximum level, which would mean we would want to place down, I think, something like this. We have 500 science. We could go ahead and just do this. Sure. And then build them out like this. And this would be our super dam. And by super dam, I just mean like it would be a pretty good dam. And it would give us the flexibility to increase the height up one more level if we so desired to build onto this levee. But you can imagine, well, we'd have to build a pretty huge dam, like a giant wall, all the way out this way. And I'm not convinced that's really going to be worth the time and the effort, but maybe. At least it future-proofs a smidge. That said, all of this is kind of far away. I'm willing to betcha that we don't have the range to get that far. Let's just see if that is, in fact, the case. Yep, nope, this is the end of our district. Darn it. So in order to take full advantage of this, I either need to move the dam forward out to this area, which still isn't going to be enough because I wouldn't be able to build up in this corner, or realistically what we need to do is just place down another district, at least temporarily, just so that the beavers can build up a giganto dam. Yup. Yep, that would be a thing. That would be a thing indeed. We need to make sure that plenty more logs are being delivered over here, like a lot more logs, because we got a lot of work to do. Oh boy. This is the first time that I have seen my water level actually fall all the way down here. Holy crud. And we do not have a lot of water left and only a couple of days remaining. Good lord. All right, well, to just be safe and make sure my crops don't die, let's go ahead and lower the floodgate a little bit more. That is going to lose a lot of water up in this general area, but that's okay. We're just going to keep ourselves alive for at least a little bit. I still don't expect the water to get down over here, but that's fine. A bunch of crops actually did dry out and die, including the spatterdock and stuff. Yep. That would be a problem, I admit. Yep. Okay, well, what this tells me is I can survive for about 5-ish days of drought as our current rate and our current drainage using the water pump before we start having problems. All the more reason we really want to get these dams up and a-running. I have set up a little district over here. Question, with this distribution point, can I set one up over here? Yes. And I want to set up logs for sure, plus maybe just some basic food, plus some water. That should be just about all we need. What does it take to build up the level 3 floodgates? Planks. So we'll need to have some of those over there as well. All right, that's all that we should need, though, to sustain a small population that exists only over here long enough to set up the big honkin' levee and dam. And slowly but surely, this area is getting built out as well. Very slowly, I should add. Very slowly indeed. Finally, this drought is coming to an end. Good lord. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely a sign of things to come. It's sad. It means this planet isn't healing under our environmental beaver guidance at all. It's actually still getting worse. Gosh dang humans! Always ruining everything they touch. I hate them so much. All right, well, just go ahead and start gradually raising up the levels of the floodgates. In the meantime, life-giving water is returning to this land, thank God. And we should be able to start producing some explosives now that the water is returning and can power up these water wheels. So, pretty soon we'll have that set up, and I'll be able to go ahead and blow up this barrier. I assume we're going to see if we have any explosives up in our inventory in that area, but there we go. And then with this all taken care of, and now everything being sustained this way, let's go ahead and raise the height up to 1.5. Start building up that water level even higher. A little bit more, and maybe someday, eventually, I don't know, it's thinking about it. Hasn't quite made up its mind. Here it comes. There's the floodgates. All right. Now we're set. Now we got all this water back. Interesting. By the way, apparently, if the water is still over here, it seems like it actually reached further up the soil than I would have expected. It's a little bit surprising, but okay. Let's make sure we have more people working over here in the distribution post, because that's going to be important. There's the flooding that just occurred again. Good lord. Yeah, there's definitely kind of a weird period where it's like, wait, we have to reset ourselves a little bit or something. I don't know. Regardless, seems like we are A-okay on that front. I have extra people moved over into this district, district number 2. So they are gradually building out the levees. But when I say gradually, I mean very, 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 very gradually they are building out the levees. Which is weird, right? Because it's not like we don't have plenty of logs and stuff getting delivered over here. We've got more than enough logs and stuff being delivered over here. It's just no one's working where I need them to. Hang on. Oh, that's why, because I got all ball working over here in the dang distribution post. No, 1, 2, 3, there we go. Okay, so now we should have some workers grabbing all the extra logs and working on the levee. There we go, that's what we were supposed to do. So let's see, I've got myself 5 explosives right now. Can we just get rid of this barrier and then not have to worry about it anymore? Yeah, let's just do that. Wait, can be demolished, must be built on the ground. How does one blow up a thing? I assume someone will deliver some dynamite. Or it looks like he can just... Oh, I didn't even need... Turns out I didn't even need any dynamite at all. It turns out that this was completely fine, and we could have just done it the old-fashioned way by sending a beaver over there to tear down a dam rather than build up a dam. Gosh dang it. Well, people have been probably yelling at me about that one, but of course I am recording in batches, so these are things that are very easy for me to miss. All right, how are we doing as far as resources being dropped off? We're doing okay. This should be all we need to sustain a bit of population. I have, unfortunately, only one person left unemployed right now. Building lacks workers. Yeah, duly noted. We'll go ahead and transfer, I guess, one beaver over here, since that's all I can afford at the moment. So we can get someone started over here and just start transferring goods around into the log piles and whatever else. But if we can get this area to start building up its population a little bit more, I would like to send a handful of extra beavers off in this direction. That said, we're getting kind of housing capped right now. I've only got space for two more beaver births at the moment. Two more little baby beavers, so it's gonna be a little bit before we can make that work. How's the levee doing over here? Pretty well. How are we doing as far as our log production? We're up to 767. Yeah, we had a huge crop of maples that have recently come of age, so a lot more wood came into the pile right now, which is absolutely fantastic. Feeling good about that. It might be time to go ahead and start building out some additional housing. And one thing you can do, by the way, I'm pretty sure, is you can actually build certain types of houses, like the double lodge, right here in the water. This is a thing you can do, and it doesn't matter that some of the houses are submerged in the water as long as it's accessible. So technically speaking, I could say, hey, we don't need this extra pool of water. All I'm going to do is just build out some houses over here. And honestly, that's not even a half bad idea. All we care about was having a tiny little water pool over here to sustain the fertility of this area so I can continue growing more trees, am I right? That's all we really cared about at the end of the day, so yeah. We'll just go ahead and build out a couple little houses. It's great, it's like super space efficient. Here's my question though. Why are we able to build double lodges but not mirrored double lodges, right? Wouldn't it be kind of nice if I could just place another double lodge on top of this one, you know, and you just have some stairs traveling directly up or something? I don't know. Technically, though, yeah, we can actually do something like this. And that would be worth, once again, a little bit more housing. And we could just go ahead and place down some stairs over here if we wanted to. And then boom, 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 you know? Yeah, those are things that we could do. That said, I am a little bit wary about expanding my population too rapidly. Let's keep in mind that we do still need to be able to store up some extra water if we want to do that. But, I mean, it's pretty cool. Sure, we'll do this. And we'll place roofs on top or something. Little decoration, you know. Do something kind of like this. And boo, that looks gonna look great. Aw, it's a charming little beaver home. I like this. Oh, good lord, what's happening over here now? All of a sudden, everything's flooding again. Gosh dang it, I don't understand why this keeps happening. The water seemed completely stable to me. I mean, we're not talking exactly laminar flow, but like, it shouldn't have had any problems. There was nothing to back up. And yet I was watching as the water levels in this area were flowing in and out. I think this area just confuses the game. It's not too sure what to do. It's almost got its own like little tidal system. Look at this, it's draining out, then it's going back in. Huh. Yeah, little areas like this seem to confuse the game a smidge. It's not a problem exactly. It's just a little awkward for me to deal with, but that's probably fine. All right, so we should probably make sure we get a little bit more water production in some of these areas, just because I want to make sure that we're going to be fine. We were running it a little bit close last time around, just a little bit close for comfort. Place down a quick water tank over here, and you know what? Just because I like to give people decorations, we'll place a bush. There we go, just a nice little bush over there. It's kind of like Bob Ross, you know, I just want to have nice, happy little bush placement. Okay, so everything seems to be going according to plan over here. Slowly but surely, we are building this area up. Now, as this levee finishes, it's probably going to start flooding over, and that's fine. I would not be surprised if we start seeing some water back up into this general area here, which actually might be more of a problem than it's worth because, oh, well, it's already kind of happening, I guess. I was going to say it may not be worth the effort, because see, we're creating floodplains over here. We haven't quite finished with this whole area, and I want the water to continue flowing down here consistently without just building up into, let's say, this little reservoir. So we're going to pause on one corner just to encourage the water to continue flowing at all times while I build up the rest of these floodgates. And then once we're getting close to done with that, then we'll go ahead and finish out the levee, finish out the floodgate. It may not matter at the end of the day, but it does make me feel slightly better about the situation, you know what I mean? All right, so the levee over here is making solid progress. Not much longer to go on that, and then I can start transferring some more population back from District 2 and over into District 3 and start figuring out the rest of what we're doing. We do not have enough workers in some of these buildings, unfortunately, so our population isn't quite keeping up to the degree that I would have liked. But you know, I'm sure it's probably going to be fine. I've got 1,000 science. We should probably spend that on something. How are we doing on food? Absolutely fine. Do we care about more decorations? Do I care about monuments? I mean, yeah, we could place this thing down if I wanted to. What else we got? Observatory. By exploring the stars, beavers gain more knowledge. This takes pine resin. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, it takes a lot of power, unfortunately, so I'm going to say probably not a good thing to do. A mine. Interesting. We could have underground ruins? 4,000 science, though. Good lord. That's way too expensive. I don't even think that's worth it. Heck no. Underground warehouses, 1,000 science. Maybe. Dynamite? Yeah, let's go ahead and unlock it. We've spent a fair bit of time just to be able to get this. Now I'd be able to start placing dynamite in a few different places, like over here, for example, and start gradually blowing up tiles. And that can be useful, at least in the sense that we can, 1, create irrigation channels. That could be pretty helpful. 2, if we wanted to go ahead and start blowing up some of the extra soil down over here during a drought when I can easily access it, we could start increasing the amount of water that can fit inside of a reservoir. That could also be a thing for me. But I'm not sure if it's a super high priority. We should also consider, by the way, at some point, just kind of building downstream into this gigantic lake. I mean, admittedly, yeah, you know, when the drought comes, we have water issues over here. But I mean, it's a pretty huge amount of water to work with. It's probably worth it, at least to some degree or another. A lot of trees and stuff seem to be drowning. Yeah, this area is flooded. It's gonna stay flooded, so... I hope we weren't planning on getting anything out of these here chestnut trees or anything anytime soon. Absolutely not. That would be ridiculous. Let's go ahead and place down a quick little gathering flag over here. When I get some extra population over here, I like to be able to go ahead and have some people just gather up these chestnuts, at least for a little bit, but it's not going to matter. Every one of these plants is almost certainly going to die. Okay, the levee in this area appears to be done. Nicely built out and ready to go. Fan-flippin-tastic. And I was able to transfer a few more workers over here, so it won't be that much longer until we are prepared to have this here triple floodgate. Few more logs and stuff. How are we doing in the drop-off point? Still got plenty of planks, plenty of logs. We're still dropping things off on a regular basis. And by the way, I went ahead and set up a grill over here so we can just grill up whatever chestnuts exist before these things go extinct. It's not going to be that much longer anyway. So that's another triple floodgate done and ready to go. All right. We should make sure these things are synchronized and probably reduce the flow down to 0 for now until we can figure out exactly how much we can get away with. We are almost done with this, gosh dang it. And that is going to give us so much water to last for a very long time. Hey, there's number 4. All right, let's go ahead and unpause this levee and we'll start flooding this area even more. There we go. There we go. Water's flowing. You can see we're now building this area up, which is probably going to slow down the flow here by a bit. In fact, actually, one of these wheels is now going the wrong direction. This is probably going to continue being an issue until this area fills up, which it is doing pretty quickly, as you can see. So this shouldn't take that long. And then once that giant area fills up, then it'll start resuming flow in the direction I want. So for a little while, at least, power is all messed up. I mean, I don't know if that's actually true. We gain power in the direction I care about. Well, no, we're getting spurts. I was gonna say, if it goes the other direction, it doesn't really matter which direction this thing is rotating, right? We still get the power regardless. But no. All right, now it's starting to get back on track. There we go. Everything's looking better. All right, one more to go. One more. There we go. All done. Okay, so now we're gonna start slowly raising up that height, and every little increment we do this is gonna stop the water flow here, at least for a little while this entire area starts to fill up. Yeah, this is going to take a while. This is going to take a very long while. But I think it's super duper worth it, don't you? Oh, and just in time, too. We have another drought arriving in about 3 days. There's that water level. We're ready to go for... Wait, hang on. Let's let the flooding figure itself out for a sec. Oh, God. Oh, dear. Oh, my. Oh, Lord. We seem to have caused a bit of a problem. Let's go ahead and raise that height up for a second. Oh my, yes. Everyone brace for impact. Okay, there we go. Whoops. Right. We might need to not synchronize this just a little tiny bit. And maybe, I don't know, increase the height on at least a couple of these things completely. Or something. And that way we can just kind of slowly continue the flow one little bit at a time. And then, I don't know, maybe I can control this flow just a little bit better to make sure that that exact thing doesn't happen. The good news is it's not like it causes any damage. All it does is like flood your crops so they can't grow for a very brief moment until everything gets sorted out. So it's not exactly a big deal or anything. It's just kind of like, yikes, dude. That's probably not what you want to see happen. Let's go ahead and start chopping down more of these chestnuts. Again, these guys are going to be dying in a few days, so I kind of figured we might as well. I've got a person we can set up over here. Let's put you on pause. And in order to make this area useful, I don't know, let's just go ahead and start growing some pines and chestnuts and stuff. It'll be fine. We might as well get some value out of this spot, in my opinion. So sure, we'll go ahead and grow a whole bunch of things. Good lord, we really have created a bit of a mess, haven't we? Ah, to be a beaver. Feels amazing. Yeah, we gotta get this entire area to fill up. Look at all this. This is so much water. So unbelievably much water. It's gonna take me forever to actually get this dam all the way filled up to its maximum possible value. And even then, we're not trying to go for the max value, just a little bit higher. Remember, if we go all the way to the maximum value, then we're actually gonna have some problems over here, and it's gonna break that levee. And then people really are in a lot of trouble, huh? And regardless, that's still, however, going to be one day until we have another drought, and I'm curious to see how easily we are able to sustain ourselves through this. It really shouldn't be that hard, am I right? Really shouldn't be. All right, well, you know what? I think this is enough progress for today. We've definitely grown quite a bit more. We are doing unbelievably well on a lot of different resources. Amazingly, gathering water appears to be one sticking point where I am having some issues. Maybe placing down an extra water tank somewhere wouldn't be a half bad idea. But you get the point. Regardless, yeah, with this extra dam, we should be set for a very, very, very long time. And now I can just sit back, get as much science as I want, and start thinking about more long-term planning and, even better, some irrigation. I mean, heck, we could just go ahead and create like a tiny little floodgate over here, and just create like a tiny lake in order to fertilize this whole spot. And then we'll just keep it running once in a while, and then whenever the drought starts coming along, we just let a bit more water in so it doesn't dry out completely, and then boom. These are the sorts of things that I can do. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If so, I would ask you to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.